Hello. While we wait for people to arrive, I gotta check in some other code. Oh, and actually make some notes of what I want to do. I want to do this and this. What else do I want to do? Okay. I don't know. After that, we'll wing it. What kind of cake? It's the same kind I always get. Grocery store closed. Well, you got to get cake delivery in that case, I guess. All right. Oh, one other thing I wanted to do. Okay. Check in these files. Okay. Let's update. Not using Git. Dude, I'm eating all the cake before I even start. I don't even think it's unnecessary only for smaller games. Like, I have never shipped a game using anything as complicated as Entity Component System. I did work on some games that had component systems, but they were a long time ago, and I didn't like how complicated the component systems were. Okay. How about if we start programming? You thought ECS is the standard way to do data-oriented design. No, data-oriented design is a very broad concept. ECS is a very specific way of doing entities in games. They don't have very much to do with each other. You can do non-data oriented ECS easily. Why does everyone ask me about Linus Torvalds? We're going to have to increment the cake counter later on tonight after we get good things. So sometime after we have really good success, someone remind me to reward myself with more cake. Do the @ comments integrate with some tool that I use? No. They integrate with the tool of my brain thinking about searching for those later on. How come school has taught me all about how great OOP is and now everyone's telling you it is bad? Because schools are not necessarily very good at teaching you the best thing. Is it a lemon cake? Well, it's like a vanilla cake. Well, okay. So let's start doing some animation features. One thing that I noticed, because I want to cut down on the verbiage and the manual tweaking required for these files. A lot of the time, there will be rules to go to a same file, and they'll use some blend value. And that blend value will usually be the same when going to that state. So what I was thinking is like, hey, on that target state, you can say, so like state walking, like this goes to state walking with 0.2. This goes to state walking with 0.2. Let's see who else. That goes with 0.1. That goes with 0.1. 0.17. So that's 1.2, 0.2. Okay, so there's the majority are 0.2s by far. 3/4 of them are 0.2s. So if we just make the default be 0.2, then you don't really have to specify it unless you want something else. So state walking, we're going to say default blend in 0.2. And I'm specifying blend in because I want to make it clear that we're not blending out. So then all these places, we just don't say blend 0.2, right? Those ones we still say because those are different. There we go. Okay. So we've still got some blends, but not as many. And we can adjust all the ones that use that default value en masse. Now that has a drawback that if you change the default value, you change a lot of people who might be blending into it. But that might be good because you might want to change that because you changed the animation, so you want everybody to change. So I don't know. I mean, we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. Okay. So now if we start the game, it'll say, I don't know what that means. Unknown command, default blend in. So let's do that. In load graph. Okay. Default blend in. Oh yeah, we want to do all this stuff, the scale factor stuff. Or do we? Let's not. Because we only do blend by times right now. All right, so string to scale factor, RHS. Okay, if I should just make a standard reporting thing for this, so I don't have to do this manually all the time. Anyway, okay. Anyway, so if we succeeded, unable to parse a blend time. Okay. If we got a blend time, if is scale factor A default blend in does not support percentages. And if we finally got here, then we will set that time on this arc not on the arc, on the node. On the node. Okay, if we don't have a current node, I'm sure that I check that in spots. Yeah. Oh, we already check it up there. Okay. Okay. That's great. So now we want to use that. So I think it's fade time here. get blend duration. Well, oh, actually, you know, we do. Let's support scale factor after we finish the basic support. Because if we support percentages, we should do them everywhere. Okay. It's going to be a little hard to do that. Let's worry about just getting the basic thing in. Okay. So this still returns -1. That's fine. So switch to node, we'll get -1, and for fade time, we would like to be able to say blend out duration equals default. Guess what? Okay. If fade time is equal to -1, fade time equals destination dot default blended. Okay, now if it's less than 0, we still don't do it, right? Otherwise we do. Let's just say if fade time is less than 0, fade time equals 0.1. Whatever. That way you don't get a snap if you don't put a blend, which might have been what we did. I don't know. What happened? Oh, 0.2. All right. Let's close this window. We don't need that. Okay. So the question is, how do we test this? And the answer is, we can play with one of the things that I was messing around with off stream that will improve further today, which is just, okay, this is a file. This isn't actually a character. It's an animating background entity that I happen to assign a mesh of a character to just test the ability of animated background entities to have these animation state machines. Okay, so we're getting these blends of 0.2. I should be able to cut those off and it doesn't really change. Oh, maybe it's 0.1ing now, I don't know. Anyway, I should be able to say default blend in of 0.5. That didn't do anything. Okay, well, let's debug build it. Lead engine developer of Elysian Shadows, and you work on the DirectX 12 team at AMD. Hate Java with a passion. It's just untrue that OO necessitates overhead. No, I disagree with that completely. No. So OO, okay, let me link this talk where I explain this because it seems, so obviously stuff like deeply nested delegations that jump around through a million things before you do any work costs stuff, but I'm gonna link my talk where I explain why object-orientedism necessarily implies the very concept that you couple code and data implies low performance. Okay, and yeah, and that's what an object is coupling code and data. All right, I should fact this there. So in that YouTube video I explain, and it's not even only object-oriented things, but other stuff like automated reference counting and things like that are a lot slower than people think. Well, I guess I have to start banning crap loads of people. Or scripts. That was unpleasant. The link got buried. All right, well, we repaste the link here. Anyway, if that kind of spamming keeps happening, we might have to go sub-only mode on the comments, which I would rather not do. But if people are going to do that to the channel, then you could always watch the video later. You don't have to watch it now. Okay. So this isn't working yet. Well, we're going to start here. Maybe the fade time is not actually minus. Oh, because we're setting it. Oh, dude, I'm such a dummy. I even know what's wrong. I literally typed the thing that's wrong. Oh, wait, no, that's only if default blend in is not set. Okay. I don't know. Maybe we're checking it for -1 somewhere else. Okay. What is fade time here? 0. Okay. That means when we tried to parse a float, we messed up. Because otherwise it would be -1, right? Didn't I? Yeah, I assigned it to -1, so it got reset with a 0, so we failed to parse it for some reason, which is a very unusual problem. Usually parsing is very easy. Let's put the breakpoint there. And all we have to do is hot load the file. Oops. Okay. Float A is... So you can't even use... Like, I want to hover over it and see the value, and, like, that doesn't work consistently. I don't know. 0.5. That is what I put. Okay. Current node is state first. Default blend in is now 0.5. This is also 0.5. Those are the only two. Okay. So my assumption or my idea about what was wrong was not what was wrong. So destination, state dead, default blend in 0.5. Okay, wait. I guess it wasn't -1. Also, checking for exactly equal to -1 is maybe weird. We should check for less than 0, but let's just see. Wait, this is a different fade time. Wait, get blend duration. Okay. Okay, what's going on? Fade time. Oh, this is like a when done. Okay, this is a different case. The when done case is different from the regular transition case. Which is interesting. Okay, if fade time is less than 0, I hadn't remembered that. Okay. And then we'll change this to less than 0, just to have the same case twice. All right. All right. Oh, it's default blend in, not default fade in. Blend. Okay. Still not working. I was pretty confident that that was going to work. I didn't even do a debug build. What is my problem today? I can't even program. Tell you what the runtime overhead of compiling an inline template that refers to the child is. Well, I don't have to tell you because Chandler Carruth will tell you. Let's link you to this other video. This guy works on I don't know if this is the right video. I think it is. There's some video where he talks about why zero cost abstractions are not really zero. Oh, wait, this is take off the ampersand t equals 601 seconds and just take the base URL there. Yeah, no, you can't say blanketly that there's no runtime overhead for template programming. That's not true. Watch the examples in Chandler's video. Anyway, let me figure out why I can't program. Okay, we know this part is fine. We know we're doing that. We didn't mess that up. Okay. So here, it's 0.5. Oh, maybe it can't. Dude, I don't know. Let's see. Whoa. If it's a new channel, what? We don't set the blend out duration. What? That's terrible. We only do it if we find, what? How did that ever work? What are you talking about? Okay, wait, this might be different. This is a different blend out duration. That's what's going on. Oh, no, it's not what's going on. Okay, I get it. No. This is fine. Okay, we didn't use this because there was no animation playing. So there's nothing to blend from. That is fine. So we're just going to be in progress here for a while, and then we'll do this. So it's 0.5. That is as it should be. That is what we want. So I think I don't know. Is it possible that it works and this is just what it looks like at 0.5? Maybe there's not a bug. Maybe we are good people. Let's 0.99. Okay, that was weird. It looked like it slowed down. Okay. I think it's working. It just looked fast to me, so I assumed it wasn't working. So here, because the animations are pretty short, we're spending all our time blending up and down, and we're never getting where we're trying to go. Because we're going between like standing and not standing. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to check that in. I'm going to make a note to talk about that in the email. Oh, wait, we want to do scale factor version? Yeah, okay, we'll do it. We'll do it. We're just, you know, we're just being cool. Okay, this is going to be a little bit annoying in one of the cases. Because we won't know the animation duration. Like here, we don't know the animation duration. So we might want to do this inside switch to node, I guess. This one, okay. Actually, we have to do this no matter what. Okay. What a pain in the butt just to support a feature that maybe nobody will ever do. Okay. Okay. Same thing here. Except it's arc.destination. I guess we are naming it this, which also means over here. And then there. What a pain in the butt. Actually, we can do this inside switch to node. That's better. We don't do that. Oops. Keep that in my cut buffer. Oh, we already do this in switch to node. Wait, this is switch to nodes, so we only need to do this once. Wait, what? Was I just confused about the way I was? We're going to have to test this again before we actually do the scale factor thing. Okay. So now, play animation is going to complain that it doesn't know that argument. Possible overloads. This one. Blend duration is scale factor is not found in the procedure. That is correct. Fucking, why are we still printing the wrong things in overload? Fuckers. It's showing me the call site and not the actual overload right now, which is bad. I don't want to stop and fix it right now, but like, god damn it. Okay. No, that was it. I hope nobody just passes looping not by name. Although, wait, since I know the animation. Okay, this is crazy. We're doing this, which would have torpedoed this anyway. Okay, whatever. Here, we don't do this. We don't do this. That's it. We keep it like us passing this scale factor concept down to the lower level thing of the animation player is not really, it feels bad, man. You know, and as soon as I started typing that comment, I was like, wait a minute, it doesn't make sense. All right. Okay. So he's kind of limboing like he was before. That's great. And okay, here we go. Let's say 0.1. So I guess he's going up fast, but down slow, right? So if I do this, I feel like something's not right here. I feel like there's some kind of bad behavior. We're just blending in a crap load of these death animations because they're ending. Okay. Let's try some percentages. Now we're blending out all those excess ones. We might want to do something to prevent that. Okay, 50%, 5%. Yeah. %90. Seems legit. Seems legit. Okay. So we did the scale factor version. It was more confusing than we thought, but ultimately it was actually simple. Let me revert this. because I don't know what the hell I did to that. Is that enough to get cake? No, not yet. This is not a domain-specific programming language. It's a C++ replacement. Full interoperability with C++ is not really possible for anybody, because like that would mean supporting C++ templates and all that, which nobody is really ever going to do. But we support structs, and you know, we try to match the name mangling of popular compilers and things like that. So if you're asking how much of this game is in C++ and how much is in the new language, it's all in the new language. The entire engine is in the new language. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like that for any modern complicated programming language. It's not even to bag on C++. Like any modern complicated programming language is not going to have full interop from anybody else, because it's just, you would have to implement their entire language, right? And well, I wouldn't say never, but it's usually not the business you want to be in if you're trying to do a new language. And so, you know, picking a subset of how you interface with it is, I think, the name of the game. Okay. Now I want to do a feature. Okay. I want to pick some different things. I want to pick some longer lasting animations. So we're going to go state second, state third, state fourth. Let's just call it 1. This is state, whatever. We already did this. State fourth goes back to state first. Okay, so we're going to say the idle animation is kind of long and weird, so we're not going to do that. We're going to say warrior active move forward 01. We're going to say warrior active bump forward 01. We're going to say idle 02, and we're going to say push walk forward 01. Okay, so that should be a good, reasonable 4 animation sequence if I didn't mistype anything. So that blocked animation is maybe not the best one because it has a bunch of idle in it. So let's try I don't know, do we have a jump animation? Let's see. Yeah. It's not much of one, but you know, it's enough. It's enough that he's like constantly doing all these things. The animations in this game are really fast by default because movement is fast. Could slow down time if you want to see it. Okay, so he's doing these things. This is fine. Now, I'm going to do something different. How exactly do I want to do this? So what I want to do is I want to make a simple state machine where this guy will go to a random different state. Okay. And when done is not really overridable. So I want to say something, instead of when done, I'm going to try option A. We're going to call these option A, right? Option B and option C. And they're all, okay. So now we're broken because we don't know what any of these are, right? Okay. So here, now we've just turned it back into this going to that. Okay. So what we really want to do is something like the following. Go option A if elapsed is greater than 80%. Well, I want to be able to do this. We don't have a thing called elapsed yet. So that's going to be a variable that we need to do that gives us our elapsed time in the animation. Let's just make that work. And then we'll do the other special. So now we're barfing because we don't know what the hell elapsed is. What is elapsed? Well, it's going to be a float constant. Let's do evaluate variable. It knows about a few things. Target angle. Elapsed. Okay, it's going to return a float value in our interpreter style thing. It's just a type tagged union, that's all it is. Okay. So I don't know. If somehow there's no animation player, then whatever. Get primary, oh. Okay. I think that'll just work. And oh, I was thinking we have to parse floats, but we don't have to parse floats yet because we didn't use a float there. Ha 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 ha. Ha ha. Oh, value. Value is channel dot is it current time. We're going to cast that to float because that's going to be float 64. Okay. Variable elapsed is of type float, which does not match S32. Okay. We don't parse percentages either. And in fact, we, oh God, okay. That's a whole thing that we're going to have to do separately is parse percentages. But so let's just do the straight up float number. So we're going to say if elapsed is greater than 0.4, 0.5 maybe, I don't know. Then we go to option A. That's all we're doing right now. And now we're going to get a parse error, right? Invalid constant 0.5. Yeah. Okay. So we need to understand this. Okay, so we have a thing to check if a string contains, no, that's not it, contains any occurrence of any of the characters. Okay, so if contains any S, if it contains a decimal point or a percentage, all right. Okay. String to scale factor, S. Junk after float constant. Okay, so if success, we wrap float. Oh, actually not yet. We'll just float A and result. But, well, okay, or we complain. Parse a float constant. Okay, now the reason we don't want to return this directly is we want to say result. I believe we have an allowance for this being a scale factor already. No, we don't. All right. Oh, not true is scale factor. So if they put a percentage, then this thing, you know, parses that and it says, hey, bro. Okay. So actually, we should be able to go back to using the percentage, but we're not going to yet. Oh, we've got double ORs. We can row our boat really fast with our double ORs. All right. Variable type float is not yet handled. Oh, yeah. Okay, so we got to do this. Okay, this is really dumb. And once again, this is why writing an interpreter is so much easier than a compiler. Because it just does everything for you. You just piggyback on your language. Okay. It looks like we are going between these two things. We're not in option A very long. Why is that? Why do we stop? I'm confused about this. It's like we start queuing up. Okay, it's not working. That's what's happening. If elapsed is greater than 0.5. Okay, so when this hits 0.5, it should go. It did. Why did it start playing it at 0.8? Oh, it's because of okay. It's the star there. We were doing foot matching, which was skipping most of the animation. That's what's going on. Right, so now we're getting the full jump. That was dumb. All right. Because the foot matching is relative to the pelvis. So like being in the air doesn't, maybe we should tweak that. Okay. So this is working. Right? We could go to option B instead. We can go to option C instead. We can go to option, oh, there's no D. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is make the ability to pick one of these at random. Oh, actually, no. Let's finish our scale factor situation. If C dot value, if C dot is scale factor, Ci times equals something. Current node. Okay. If it's a scale factor, we do all this disgusting stuff to know what to scale by, which we may optimize later. Okay, so we get the channel. Ci times equals cast float channel dot duration if channel duration is not a member. What was it called? Animation duration. We were very specific about what it's the duration of. Okay. So what that means is I should, in theory, be able to put a percentage. He's running and putting his hand out. So if elapsed is greater than 75%, we go to option C. All right, so we should be able to control how long we're in there. If elapsed is greater than 15%. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Check it out. What happens if I go over? We just never get there because the animation's looping. Maybe we make two things. Let's not do something flaky. So the problem is, because this animation is looping, right, is never going to get past 100%, which doesn't sound like a problem, but what if it's 90%, and what if our frame rate is really low and we're playing a looping animation? Then we might go from 89% to 1%, right? So that is a non-robust system. This is the kind of thing that junior programmers do all the time, that you have to like think about in advance. So that's what we're doing, is we're thinking about it in advance. So I think we maybe want two things. We want anim time and node time. So instead of calling it elapsed, we're going to say node time okay, and then so this is going to be anim time, and there's going to be one called node time. That's just okay. We return so when we get the current node, we add DT. Okay. And then switch to node. We say destination time in node is 0. Did I call it M here? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Now, hey, look, it works now. He runs, and you'll be able to see the animation loops while he's running. It's the elapsed time is on the right-hand side. It loops past 0 and comes back. And then we go. Okay? That is how you do it. You don't make a piece of shit that's going to behave badly with low frame rates and be hard to use correctly. Okay. Now, here's what I'm going to do. Instead of going after a certain amount of time, I'm going to go randomly. I'm going to make a number called random that gets re-rolled every time you enter a node. And we're going to say go option A if random is less than 34. Go option B if random is less than 67. Go option C. Okay? Now, we're not going to spend more than one frame in this node, which is kind of buggy. Eventually, what we're going to want to do is do it based on time and random, but we can't put more than one if clause right now. So we're just going to do it randomly. We're going to flick in this for a frame and then dispatch to each of these, etc. But not yet, because unknown variable random, right? So right, we're putting random here. So we'll give an int if we don't have a current node, which should be fine. Otherwise, wrap, S32. Wrap S32 current node dot random number. Okay. At the same time that we say time in node, I don't remember what my random routine is. I'm going to run Visual Studio. Oh, wait, in Sokoban. Oh, right. I was thinking C++ for a second. Random get is our easy one. Wanted S32 given U32. Okay. There, see, so he's switching around. Well, he was switching between things. Now he's just running. So are we failing to reset the random number? Because all of these should go to state first. That's weird. Why does go option C not work? Maybe we ignore it. Maybe we ignore go if the if clause is not enabled, which we shouldn't. I bet that's what's going on. Because now that I put an if there, it's doing it. Right? Okay. So, how do we do? Oh God, we know we have goes hard coded to be these things. So we're going to want to change that. Let me heat up some tea water and we will change that. Any questions about what's going on? About what the hell is happening? Anyone know if there's going to be a Handmade Con 2018? I feel like Casey is fed up with doing that kind of a thing, unfortunately. All right, back in a second. Tea time. I don't see questions. Compiler is really fast. Is that with an LLVM backend? No, I don't use the LLVM backend normally because it's a little too slow. And the compiler is actually getting a little slower. It used to compile in 0.8 seconds. The program's gotten a little bigger, but it's up to like 1.3 seconds, which is like too slow, right? So we're going to do a stream sometime soon where we just profile the compiler. Actually, before we do that, there was a thing I was trying to do months ago to speed up procedure calls that like I didn't do because I was going to China and I dropped it like before it was done. So I'm going to resurrect that code and we'll try to finish it on a stream sometime because I think that'll substantially reduce compile time. Will I be a guest speaker at a con? Probably not. I don't do that kind of thing that much. Do nodes correspond to multiple animations? They can, yes. They can, but the simplest thing is to just have one animation in a node. Well, Rust is really slow because they do a lot of automated checking on every build, right? Have I played the new Xpunks levels? Nope. I have not. Yeah, so, you know, our program is around 90,000 lines. I want to be at least 100,000 lines per second in the near future, right? And so we're not totally there, right? 90,000 divided by 1.4 is like, I don't know, not even close to 100. So we got to speed that up. What is a representation of Go in memory? It's just an arc, just like the message arcs. What decides when the Go is run? The conditions on the Go decide when the Go is run. What are workspaces? That's a way of organizing your programs. Have I already had the cake? Well, I had the initial cake. When we get random done, or no, when we get multiple if clauses done so that we can do random and node time at the same time, then we'll do cake celebration. Reminds you when you were studying mathematical analysis in university. Well, you know, can I talk more about the fast build backend? What kind of optimizations can it do? None. It doesn't do any optimizations. That's why it's fast. Well, that's not the only reason it's fast, because LLVM with no optimizations is still a lot slower. But like, we just do the obvious thing. We just output the code that corresponds to the program. Like, people even asking that question is crazy because computers are so fast that Yeah, like, okay, so in our back end, right, we take 0.4 seconds to generate the output code. And that makes me mad because it's slower than it should be because like somebody added something. And I have to go back and figure out why it's that long. It should be like 0.2 or under. Computers are really, really, really fast. The reason you don't understand how fast they are is all your software is terrible. That's why. And by your software, I don't necessarily mean software you wrote, although that may also be true, but software that you use every day is all completely horrible. No optimizations at all. Does it round trip every read write through the stack? Yes, it does. Yes. The version of the game that I'm running right now is doing that. Like it literally doesn't use registers to maintain values. It just uses them to put them in and out of memory. Which actually, if we did a very simple register allocation scheme, you know, like LIFO or something, we'd probably get a lot faster in the back end because we wouldn't be outputting as many instructions. Or a little bit faster. I doubt there is any way it would be slower, right? And the amount of code that we would output would be like half of our current size or a third of our current size because you wouldn't have all these reads and writes to the stack. So that's like on my list to do. It's just there's been all this other stuff to do. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Let's work on whatever we were going to work on. What was that? How much slower is the LLVM backend? Well, let's find out. It's about 1 second slower. So x64, well, it depends. So the entire compile time is a little over 1 second slower. If you strictly count the back end, then the x64 back end is 0.4 seconds and LLVM back end is 1.5 seconds. So, you know, it's like not quite 4 times as slow. That said, this is not broken down into how much is us using LLVM's API versus how much is LLVM internally. But I assume our API usage is not that bad because this number is not very high compared to what I hear of from other compilers. So, yeah. Yeah, these are all clean, full builds of 90,000 line programs. No incremental anything. The incremental builds just cause problems. I don't like them. And they just make your system more complicated. You've seen LLVM passes take 10 times that time on Rust. What is Rust doing? I don't know. I mean, make sure it's for a similarly sized program, right? Like, if you're compiling a 500,000 line program, you'd expect it to take longer. This one is 92,000 lines. So, you know, make sure you don't forget that. But I don't really know. Maybe Rust outputs a really dumb amount of instructions and expects LLVM to clean them up. That is a strategy that is in vogue these days. I don't like that strategy. I think it's a bad idea, but people do it. Are incremental builds necessary in some cases, or would you say that in that case you have way too much code? So here's what I have to say about that. So as I said in the speech at Barcelona, which you could watch for more detail if you haven't seen it, I expect the compiler to get more than 10 times as fast as it is now. So I expect that by the time we have optimized it a reasonable amount, we'll get in the neighborhood of 1 million lines of code per second. Okay. Large game engines maybe compile 10 million lines of code, and they don't do it in 10 seconds. Even incremental builds don't happen in 10 seconds on those code bases, right? So is your incremental build going to be faster than a full build here anyway, even for a lot of lines of code, right? Like how, if you've got a 300,000 line program with Visual Studio, your incremental build is probably at least 5 seconds, right? Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they fixed it, but it's not really that fast. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is the reason we have this compilation model where you write everything into tiny.o files is it's exactly right. It's because computers didn't have that much memory. Once computers have memory, you do things a different way. And it makes sense. I mean, you can think of the whole .o file model as incremental builds. That's what that is. It's just that then someone had to invent another layer of incremental builds on top of that, because it's just how things are. Okay. What even was I doing? Okay, we were looking at this. I was going to make this cleaner, because this whole thing about things. So the arc. We're just going to set a Boolean. We're going to have a Boolean later, or not. Okay, so is go arc. It is going to be false. Is this a go command that has no message? Okay, so if it's not a go arc, we continue. Okay, and then when we say go, okay. I forget why I felt the need to do that, but it just makes sense anyway to reduce confusion. Okay, so this is still happening. Oh, it was because our go wasn't firing, right? We were getting stuck in there. Really, we want to go Option C. Oh. I don't remember if we correctly handle not. Evaluate if clause. And I think that'll be if is true if it's disabled. So I think this all just works. Certainly seems to be working. Okay, so now we need multiple if clauses, and that's going to take a little bit of doing. Let's check this in. We're going to say Animation graph features. Features. Okay. We've done random. We've done scale factor and if. We're doing multi-if. Dude, I've already crossed out everything on my piece of paper. Okay. What am I doing? I'm coughing myself to death on the stream. That's what I'm doing. Yeah, guys, can you chill on the calculator situation? Because I'd like people to be able to have conversations in the thing. Of course, you can always go to the Elite Subtext Platinum Only Lounge if you would like the highest quality conversations, but yeah, like I will, you know, if it just turns into constant spam, then I will ban Insabot from the channel. That's just how it could be. All right. We're going to do multiple if statements. So we're going to do this. And we're just going to have a hard-coded number of if clauses. These are usually not going to be filled. We're going to get rid of the if happens for now. Just to simplify things. Okay, so, whoops. See. Okay. If arc.message if clauses 0.enabled, well, is true equals true. Okay, evaluate if clause. So it's basically a big and statement with up to 4 clauses. Let's return true. Whoops, I got to pass the M in the state and the current node. Okay. I should put these in the same order. Okay, ignore has a single hard-coded thing. M state current node. Right, the loading part. We're just going to hard code it for now. So we've changed the data structure, but you still can't actually get more than one if clause. All right. So if success, well, all right. So if we get a clause otherwise, we say error, handler too many if conditions on one command, the maximum is whatever, comma, max if clauses, and, well, it's message if clauses. We're going to have to clean this up at some point. All right, well, does it still work? Okay, so now, well, let's see if we can even just hot load this while it's going. So now the experiment is, can we actually put two if clauses? Let's say if node time is greater than 90%, okay, so does he stay in state first for a little bit? Yeah. Yep, more than one frame. And we can make it longer. Multiple if statements, bro. What did we say I get when this is done? We said I get cake. We said I get cake, but first is the email. Everybody's talking about random things. Okay, so what is our email going to say? We're going to have this example. Okay. First, an animating entity can now be hooked up to an animation graph instead of just the hard-coded system we used for the birds, though that is still there. If you go to the level anim test, you will see an animating entity that looks like the warrior because, hey, it's an animated test that's available, mesh that's available. This animating entity has its graph name field set to this, which of course determines the name of the .animation graph file. Then it has starting node set to, which is the name of the state in that graph that we would like playback to begin with. I've also added some more variables to help us do more. Test the animating entities currently do not use animation names files. I figured that might be too cumbersome in many cases. So if no animation names file is in use, the animation graph file now can just use animation names directly, which is what is going on in test warrior graph.animation graph. Do more versatile things. For example, we now could probably at least mostly implement that bird behavior with the animation graph if we wanted to. Well, yeah, there's some stuff missing. But, okay. New command, default blend in controls the duration of the blend for anyone who blends into a given destination state so that you don't have to keep listing the same blend times all over the place all over the place every time you just all over the place. Okay. Anim time. The current playback time inside the entity's primary animation, not and the frame rate is low, or you might miss the region. You might miss the last 10% of the animation and loop back to the beginning. So this would fire inconsistently. That seems bad. Node time doesn't care about the current time inside the animation. It's just how long you have been there, so the animation could have looped several times. I think it's a lot more robust to use node time instead of anim time, and maybe anim time should be used very rarely, only if you really know the animation is non-looping. Maybe for robustness purposes, I should error if it's looping. I am not even sure if this solves all the problems. When done, then you would fire that instead of the go command. Maybe I should take that variable out. Comments welcome. Random. Every time we switch to a new node, a new random number between 1 and 100 is picked on the node so that you can do logic about that number and it do comparisons on that number and it isn't changing spuriously every frame. Here's an example from Test Warrior Graph. We are switching to some choice between A, B, and C randomly based on the value of random. We can now use multiple if clauses. This is the same as saying as using and, but we don't parse and. Hopefully this is fine. The maximum number of if clauses is 4 currently. This clauses on one command is 4 currently, and you can only have more than one. Only have multiple if clauses on message and go commands, though we could expand this in the future if that is very useful. If that is useful. What else has if statements? I don't even remember. Is the only other thing that uses if right now. That's it currently. Hope this helps, etc. Okay, that's my big email. I don't know why he was talking about it preventing leaks. I wasn't talking about preventing leaks. I was talking about preventing use after free, which all the Rust people are big about because that's memory safety, right? So, like the fact that he's talking about leaks seems to be the wrong thing even to begin with. I don't know what he was smoking. It was pretty weird. That whole Twitter encounter was weird, but you know, that's 2018. Okay, I'm going to send this email. And then we're going to have some cake. And then we're going to decide whether to play PUBG or work on particle systems. I haven't played PUBG in forever, so that could be entertaining. Okay, compose to the part of the team who cares about this. Did I even check this in? I don't think I did. And I put the wrong level name. It's not Anim Test, it's Bardstone Test. Whoops. Yeah. All right, let's check it in. New animation features. We got some new animation features for you. It's a big party in the Animation Feature Festival Townhouse Place. 1,000 votes for particles. I don't know how much interesting we're going to do about particles. Because we just have to do some basic stuff, like make them even usable in the editor at all. All right. Here's my reward cake that I get for doing these animation features instead of just watching Shroud play Rainbow Six Siege all night. If I decide on particles, could I do a briefing about how the particle system is now? The particle system is not very interesting right now. It's like the most basic piece of crap that there is. It's really not worth talking about. This is just a birthday cake style cake. It's very sugary with vanilla cake and white frosting and a lot of sprinkles. I kind of want to play Blackout, but I can't. Sokoban particles, I don't think are even witness particles. Like, I think I wrote them from scratch for Invaders in 2014 for that very first language demo. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I copied them from witness particle. I don't know. Have a good night. What do I think of the recent China project? I don't know anything about it, so I can't really say very much. will I need to borrow some ideas from braid particles? No, because our undo is not going to be continuous over time. So we're just going to restart the particle system. Like, okay, let me try to find one. I don't remember. MISC, Eclipse. I think MISC. Yeah. So, like here, for example, there's a level with lots of drag and breath on it. If I didn't move it, where is it? Whoops. So, you know, here I'm going forward, and kind of while you're not moving, the particles are in slow-mo. And when you move, they go faster for a bit. That's not happening with these other effects like the magics, but I don't know. You know, we have to decide what the policy is on that. When I hit rewind, oh, it's not working right now. Okay, well, never mind. Particles in rewind is broken. What it used to do was just recompute the particle system, and then you spin it forward by some amount of time before you display it, just so that the particles are there and all full and stuff. Wow. I think that broke pretty recently. Let's just let's do some sanity checks, just to make sure. Whoa. Okay. Well, things are flickery when we're still loading animations. Obviously, I don't want to fix that tonight. Well, he looks reasonable. I don't know why he's flapping his hand around so much, but I think that's in the actual animation. This looks good. Thief is pulling correctly. Let's try something we haven't tried in a while. Dude, we haven't even booted up this game in a long time. It's working though. Those beams need to shut off faster, but I'm not going to get picky about it because it's not really anywhere close to the final effect yet. Well, that still works, which is a relief. Will we be incorporating the mini-map? No, what we do is better than that because the mini-map is hard to decode and decipher. So what we do instead is you hit tab and you get an overview. It'll be easier to read because we'll have maybe the sides grayed out so that you can tell what's a repeat and what's the main map. But you basically can look at the map like this. And yeah, you don't have to try to remember what the flashing purple pixel means or whatever the fuck, right? Yeah, the promised games are really hard, so we're trying to make them more understandable or more tractable so that more people can solve them without actually making the puzzles easier, right? You like just improve the ergonomic factors. Let me go to 1 here because that one, the graphics are a little, I don't know if this is really going to be what they look like, but they're a little further along here. And oh no, the guy trapped me in. You know, everything here is still temporary, but you know, we have little different biomes like, oh, I remember this gem is over by the green part. I need to go back and try to get that, right? So as opposed to it just being a problem. Why does the map repeat? Because that's how the game works. Normally it wouldn't. So if I go to a non-repeating world like this one, the map doesn't repeat. So okay, what were we even doing? I think we were going to do some particles. I think we were going to pick a level that... What was the level I was thinking of? There's some level with like water fountains. This one. I was like, okay, we really could use some particles here. So I don't even know what happens if I just instantiate a particle source. Okay. It's got a giant ass bounding sphere and I can't see anything. And we probably don't simulate this in the editor, which is something that I think we're going to want to turn off and on. I don't know. Let's just assume that we always should. Okay, so yeah, I think if I just save this, right, and I load this level, I don't really see any particles. Maybe we need to set some colors, like have some alpha. And some, let's make them yellow. Wait, why didn't that? Oh yeah. And orange. So we don't have a special spawn proc. Radius is going to be O.1 to O.5. Drag size. What do those do? Oh, that's spawn radius. This is size of particle, so we're going to make those a lot bigger. I don't know. That I still don't see particles. Why don't I see particles? Particles per second, 15,000. Still don't see particles. Well, probably there's something we don't do for, because we've never in this game yet had particle sources created in the world. They're only dynamic. So I think we make a debug build and we just try to figure out why there's no particles. Right? What am I expecting to see exactly? Anything. Anything. The fact that I don't see anything at all is a bad sign. Let me heat up some more tea. I'm gonna need some tea to attack the particle problem. Man, I want to own Noobs in Blackout, but I can't. Gonna have to play PUBG tonight. It's terrible. Okay. So unable to load. Whoa. Because I have a particle source? Do we not? Loading an entity failed per frame proc. Yeah, well, okay. So that is a pointer. Let me see what we wrote out to on disk for that. Data levels, heroes 117, and it's 1023 1. Per frame proc is nothing, spawn proc is nothing. Yeah, which is probably fine. So when we create these in-game, I think we assign procedures to these. And one problem might be that we're not doing anything by default if they're null. So we should fix that, but we should fix the fact that we can't even frickin' load right now. So Where do we load entities? Let's just break there. Yeah, back when I wrote this, I was like, oh yeah, we'll at some point magically have a way to serialize procedures, and we totally don't yet. All right, well, this is just load failed. So we'll see what we can see about the stack from there. Load single entity, maybe load item. Oh, we don't have go to definition. Duh. Dude, I'm so hungry. I'm gonna have to eat more cake. Integer, float, bool, string, pointer. No procedure. Yep, we're getting here unhandled. So for procedure, we're just going to say we don't load it. Hey, look, particles. Okay. So well, how about 150 particles per second and hey, that looks like a good water effect, right? Who wouldn't want that to be their water effect? Fade in and fade out are going to be like Okay. Okay, and let's get them within a smaller radius. And take the max speed down. And we'll make them white to bluey blue. Look, it's just like a water effect. Yeah, that's some real game development right there. Okay, now the thing is, you want to be able to actually edit this in the editor, right? And not have to switch back and forth between editor and gameplay all the time. Ship it, yeah? Dude, these are some awesome, I want to say 2004 particles. Except I think they're actually more advanced than that because I think they're soft particles, so they don't clip into the geometry really obviously. They like fade out into the geometry, maybe. Maybe not. Maybe I'm lying. Look at that. They even get shadow map projected onto them. How great is that? How great is that? Okay, don't I have like cone? Yeah, okay, I think if I do this, and I make one that goes from 320 to 360, they'll be splashing up mostly. Why didn't that work? Oh. Not snap to grid. I am not sure why this one is not appearing. That seems very strange. Oh, it must be the theta thing. Oh, it's, we need to go 0 to 30. Okay, what axis is this along? Is the question. Let's find out. I think it's the x-axis, right? Yeah, okay. Okay, we could do this. So we're going to rotate the x-axis upward. We're going to have these spewing out like 1 to 5, but a short lifetime. Wait, those are going the wrong way now. hold on. Which way is the x-axis? Ah, I did the wrong thing. Up. Wait, what? Do we not do that? Okay, which way is it actually? I'm going to have to blind rotate this. Maybe you can't rotate it right now. Okay. Well, let's make it around the y-axis by 90 degrees, right? 0.5, 0.5. Oh, sorry, 0.7071. Right? Minus. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we hand edit our quaternions to get things done. When tools fail us. Okay, so our problem is this is insisting on being snapped to the grid. We don't want that. So we're just going to put 2 for now. Our that's our water splashing into the bottom. Got to get my quats in for the day. That's right. Only real men edit their quaternions by hand. All right. Well, so let's fix some things. Oh, I had closed the wrong window. I have to go back to Twitch chat. Okay. We're closing this window, and we have this dumb thing where, I don't know if it's a dumb thing. Where we have to explicitly whitelist things as not being snappable. Is it called entity article source? Okay. So now we should be able to not snap it to the grid. That might have been why we couldn't rotate it, honestly. It might not be a different bug. It might just be that. So let's go back here. We'll load. We'll select this invisible guy. Let's select this one. Delete it. Select this one. It is not snapped to grid. So now can we free move it? Yeah. Yeah, we're free moving it. Okay. There's really, you know, I'm not feeling enough particulation here. I want more particulation. There we go. That's professional game development right there. I don't know. We're going to have to do all sorts of things to make particles good. But the first is going to be being able to edit them or see them in the editor. Let us check this in, though. What are the little witness panels in the rotation gizmo? They're just planes that use to drag it in each particular plane. Okay. Entity is snapped to grid. Well, let's look into simulate update emitters. So I feel like we've got to do this from main. Simulate editor. Where's simulate editor? Editor. So now the question is, can we actually see the particles? We may not be drawing them. We are not drawing them. All right, so that's weird. Oh, we might not be updating the time. Yeah. So we don't do all the weird stuff that we do elsewhere. Hey, we can see them in the editor now. Okay. But we can't see what to click on yet. But we can, once we click on one, whoops. Once we click on one, well, probably we're going to want to not draw this big ugly mesh in the way of the particles, but we can at least kind of see it. And we can go It's a blood fountain now. It's a fiery blood fountain. And everyone must respect the blood fountain. Right? So that's good. That's already more rapid than what we had. Oh, like look, I can come down here and see that it's, there we go. Oh, yeah, look at that. Dude, it's so much better when you can see your particles in the editor. That is going to make this level so much more fun to play. You know what I'm saying? Bro, it's awesome. Feels like you're playing a GameCube. Yeah. We're going to need to upgrade the actual particle functionality at some point, but I'm not even sure what to do to it. For now, we're just super basics. Okay. So, I mean, we're going to want to put like good ballistics on the particles and stuff, but, you know. The particles are changing speed when the character moves because we do this time dilation thing for when you move fast, but I don't think we're going to do that in the end. I think we're going to take that out, but it's intentional right now. Even though other animating things are not correctly matching that speed, like the water texture there. So yeah. Okay. Well, wow, we did so much stuff so far tonight. Okay, I want a thing to click on that's not a big, empty, invisible sphere. And the way we do that is we have an editor, a UI, and we've got these things. And we're going to copy like editor UI note and call this editor UI particles. Add that to source control. And people can make a different mesh for that later. Frickin' constructors, don't do that on to me, man. All right. Case particle source set mesh entity editor UI particles. And we'll make it not snap to grid. And Um, yeah. So, what was I even doing there? Oh, I was gonna, oh, we did set it. So, let's do this. And now, we should be able to see the particles. Maybe we even see them in game. Okay, we don't see them in gameplay. We don't see them in the editor. Oh, because these were created before we did that. Mesh. Editor UI particles. Okay. So now we do not ever draw the mesh for the particles. And we will want to do that. So draw mesh entity. Why can I not type? Okay. Entities opaque. Okay. Where do we decide potentially visible? Oh, we do that in here. Can see is true by default. Weird. Okay. Oh, we skipped particle source here. Okay. So now, edit mode. Okay, editor entity is invisible. If manager.for editing, else, well, actually, let's do this. If manager.for editing, we see if it's visible, else we just continue and don't draw it. Particle meshes, particle handle meshes do not draw during gameplay. Gameplay. Okay, so if we're for editing, if not editor entity is visible, it continue. Okay, how do we know if it's visible? If okay. Well, how do we know if it's particles? We need to add a button. On world panel that lets us toggle the edit mode. So instead of a spacer, edit mode particles, and we're going to leave it the mode groups icon so far. Okay. So here, okay, we don't see the handle entities. That's good. Here we do. That's good. And I can toggle. Oh, well, I don't know why this isn't toggling them. It's probably because we're returning true before this check. This should be toggling them, but at least now I can select them very intentionally and do stuff with them. Okay, what's going on? Okay. So, yep. Okay, I can toggle their visibility now. That's good. So now we want a good bitmap representing particles. And I think some good unicorn sparkles, because there's a unicorn theme going on at the office among certain people. So like, I want a unicorn, but that really shows the particles. Maybe this one. Maybe that one. I mean, I don't really know, if I'm being honest. What if this is A, this is B? It's got to be this one, right? I mean, I'd have to crop it square, but and we couldn't quite fit the whole unicorn in the square, but I think that's pretty good. Okay. We'll see. We'll see how it fits. Okay. Why is it in inches? Oh, God, I do this every time. Why is it in inches? Edit. Preferences. No goddamn inches, ever. Ever. Why would anyone ever want that? Okay. So, I mean, it's going to be a little bit off center. What I really need is Adobe Content Aware Fill. I don't know how to use that, but you know what I'm saying. So I'm a little worried about this. Like, that just doesn't look good. It's got to be a square button. Further down a bit. You can't cut off the unicorn horn. What are you talking about? Oh, maybe. No, that's no good. Although that's okay. How do I do... Okay, wait. How do I do Photoshop Content Aware Fill? That's what I want to know. Okay. Open an image. Activate the patch tool. Shift J repeatedly. Content aware. Okay, so image size. Why is this in inches? No, break the chain. No, canvas size. Okay. Patch. Patch. Content aware. Okay, what happens? I don't see any patching happening. Click and drag to create a loose selection. Okay. Wait, what? It says click and drag it to the area you want to use for the fix. No, it doesn't. What does this do? Give me tooltips about this. I don't... Dude. Just do it. This is supposed to be Photoshop magic. Just make it happen. Come on, bro. What is this? Make the canvas is bigger. I made it bigger so that I would have this margin. Okay, it seems like it's the opposite of what they were saying. It seems like you, or maybe I misunderstood. It seems like you do this, right? And then you like drag it. How is that content aware fill? That's just copying the frickin' pixels. What? Come on, guys. What was their whole like AI signal processing special thing? How do I do that? I think you use brush. Healing brush. I mean, this is just the copying the fucking pixels also. I mean, I could definitely do that, but... Didn't they have some Photoshop demo that like wowed everybody where they were like, oh my God, it's amazing? That's not how I feel right now. There's a content aware scale thing. I don't want content aware scale. I just want more stuff outside the unicorn patch place. This is, computers are just letting me down. Like, it's just so obvious what I want. Alexa, make the particles go. Maybe I have to do it onto another layer somehow? I don't know. Big honkin' bro. Oh, we're sampling from the wrong layer because Photoshop's UI is ass. I don't want to do it this way. This is stupid. This is not ever going to work. Look, it's content aware fill. What does this do? It's just copying the pixels. This is so content aware. This is so content aware right now. Drag the box. Dude, this is so content aware that it's amazing. It's clearly making my unicorn bitmap that should have only been a 30-second diversion a lot better. I mean, maybe this is just going to be what the button looks like. Oh, God. All right, here's what we do. Here's what we do. High-tech situation here. What happened to that whole Photoshop demo when they were like, everybody was like, holy shit, it's content-aware fill. Okay, so we're gonna drag this layer over. We're gonna Control-T it. We're gonna flip horizontal, and we're just gonna like put it there, right? And then this one, apply, and this one, we're gonna, whoops, we're gonna move it. Gonna put it there. It's not even putting. I'm gonna Control-T it, flip horizontal. Photoshop is a piece of butt. Oh my God. What is wrong with you people? All right. So, dude. What? The people who wrote this program. Yeah, I don't even know. Okay, this is horrible, but it's better, right? And then we could maybe get a square. And we're going to have a little bit of unicorn tail here. But then we're going to sit rep that right out. So can I, without save selection, okay. Magic wand tool, no, not magic wand tool. Clone stamp tool. How is that content aware thing that I just did any different from the clone stamp tool? Like, somebody frickin' explain that to me. Oops. Oh wait, we want to do this on a new layer. Sample all layers. Yeah. Whoops. You totally can't tell we mirrored this. It's too good. It's amazing. Fear my Photoshop skills. I could do better than the content-aware fill. And then, okay, let's opacity 100 and get. There can be only one. The unicorns are like in Highlander, where there could be only one. If you know what I'm saying. So There could be only one. All this work that I'm going through just to make a good button. I hope that people are going to appreciate. Frickin', why do they let that happen? You get like a hard cutoff, at least fade it out by like the softness of the brush. Like Summer Intern could have done that in 10 minutes, but no, Adobe's not good enough to do that. All right. Select. Load selection. All right. Crop it. Let's side. We're going to make it a fine 512 pixel unicorn. Nah, we'll make it 256. And then we will save it as editor. Did I put in bit ramps? No, whatever. Sokoban, run tree, data, editor, PNG, mode particles .png. Okay. Whoops. Add, and then here. Okay. Well, that was an arduous amount of work. And we even have an old particle button it's trying to defeat us, but we will not let it. Mode particles. Come on. Come on. Oh yeah, there we go. Delete that, please. I want it gone. I want it gone. Hey, there we go. I don't really know. Okay, the flaw in this plan is that we need more transparency in it so we can tell when it's toggled, because that's all in the background. So we need to do even more work here. Okay, but we can hot load this action, right? So we're going to go back in time. I'm going to drink a back in time. Why is the history window so small? That's absurd. So before the crop and the resize, we're just going to Control-Shift-E this puppy, and we're going to go to eraser. Dude, they have like movies for tooltips now. That's going to help make Photoshop better. Whose idea was that? Eraser tool. Eraser head. All right. need less hardness. Okay, so we're gonna like, although actually, I think we're gonna want a bigger selection. I think maybe we want it at this size, and then we'll just do this. And then we'll like streak it. Oh, we can't. Okay, opacity 48, like, oh. Okay, 48 is way too much. Opacity 89. What? Oh wait, oh, that's I want opacity 11, not 89. What am I talking about? I was like, it's, there we go. There we go. We just want to kind of feather, you know, like when someone's cutting your hair and they're doing like a lot of little like snippety snappities. They're just like, we're just going to feather it. And then we're going to feather it some more. And then we're going to feather it some more, like in big old streaks. And then we're going to attack this kind of more intently, because why did we let it go that much there? Okay, and then we're going to go higher opacity, erase, and trim this down. It's like when you're getting a haircut and they're like, oh, we missed that part, and then they get it a little bit afterward. And then we're going to image size it. And it's hot loaded. I don't know if that's as good. It looks like a poop. I mean, the unicorn's too small and is kind of dominated by the background now. Okay, well, plan B. Why did you just erase my selection because I accidentally double-clicked? This program is so bad. Oh my God. All right. I guess I could have undone it here. Okay, so we're going back to this. Can this be an arbitrary size? I don't think this has to be power of 2. Let's just see what happens. Oh, well, wait. I saved it under the wrong name. Okay, so, okay, we don't need that much around the edge to know, and so we're going to do our same little feathering plan, but we're going to do it just barely at the edge, and we're going to do it, well, like kind of more square so that it looks more orderly and less like a poop. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay, that's kind of an okay unicorn button. Like I'm okay with that for now. I sure hope that was worth an hour of work. Now that's just for particle handles. We don't really have a way to turn off particles themselves, which maybe we should. I don't know. We'll deal with that when we deal with it. Don't you love our very consistent iconography style here? It's like we're Google or Facebook or Microsoft or somebody. Have I calculated how much my company pays me per hour? No, because, I mean, I basically put all my money back into the company, so the answer would be whatever I make as regular salary, which I am not the highest paid person in the company by regular salary. So, yeah. I don't think. Actually, maybe I am. No, I'm not. I'm not. Are we running the same renderer on the Mac? Yes. Scene poly count, I don't know and I don't care. OpenGL version, I don't know and I don't care. It's something with shaders. So we're probably on 3 point something or 4 point something. We're not going to ship it in OpenGL, so nobody cares. Hold shift to make a square selection. Yeah, I keep forgetting that. Keep forgetting that. Why am I erasing and not masking? Because I'm not a professional Photoshop person. Do we write shaders and in the new language and cross-compile them? We do not do that yet, but we've discussed that approach. Because the problem is, in this new world where everybody wants you to program in a different programming language, even if you're using the same GPU on different operating systems, then you have to have some kind of like Mojo shader bullshit or something. And all that stuff is just, you'd rather not have it. So if you're going to suffer that, then why not have it be a cross compilation from your own language that is already powerful and that maybe you could even turn into a software renderer if you were so inclined. So we're going to think about that. Not going to ship in OpenGL. Why not? Because OpenGL is not really the native rendering API anywhere except Linux, and you can't sell games on Linux, so why would you use OpenGL? Will we ship in Vulkan? Probably not. Because again, Vulkan has no reason to exist either at this point. let's try a... Let's just get some really low-key particles down here, like, oops, like I just want some mist, and real slow fade in, fade out. Like 1 and 5, and lifetime is a lot longer, like 10 and 4 and can't really control direction that much. Actually, let's go kind of radially around the sphere. I guess it's around a sphere this way. Okay, and then radius is going to go from 5 to actually and how far outside am I going? A little bit far. It's fine. And then let's make them fainter. And we want much bigger. Whoa. I just want really much fainter. Much fainter. Does that even work? If that doesn't work, we're going to have to multiply that factor in. I don't think it works. That man. This is like elite game development. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So color 0. There we go. It's not as intense now. Although I really let's go from 0.01 to 0.03. Just real faint. It's maybe too faint, but there we go. Let's try and get away with like a little bit less faint, but then fewer particles per second, so we don't kill our fill rate as much. But then the reason we will do that is so as we could have two. Toodaloo. So we're not spinning these up at the beginning of the frame, which is a little bit leaves things to be desired. Where's my other particle source? Dude, I pasted it. Bro. Oh wait, it's way underground. What? I did not move it where I thought that I moved it. All right. Oh yeah, there's a big Z differential on both sides of this. I guess this is supposed to be a dam. It doesn't make any sense. I guess it's supposed to be far away background there. I don't know. It's okay. We're just playing with particles. Have I ever used MinGW? I've tried to, and I never want to again. How many people are working on the art visual stuff? 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. Maybe. Yeah, I don't fast forward the particle systems at startup right now, but we will. In fact, maybe we should do that right now. Catch up, that's what it's called. Catch up. Wait, is that what it's called? I see. Okay. So we set elapsed and we call catch up. So on level start reevaluate, which is somewhere, level start reevaluate for manager by type particle source, then it dot elapsed equals, I don't know, 5 feature tune this per particle source, catch up it. I hope that's not too slow. Whatever. There we go. See, we load the level. It's already there. Boom, it's already there. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? Boom, it's already there. You know what? I feel like this has been a successful evening. I feel like we've really made some things happen. I mean, what more do you need besides a unicorn button? Does your editor, does Unity have a unicorn button? I don't think that it does. I mean, you could probably buy a unicorn button on the Unity App Store, but it doesn't come by default. Did all the games end up having some sort of map editor like this? Yes. Yes, it is immensely useful. Immensely useful. So there's all sorts of features that we need, right? We need better control over how particles look, over the geometric areas in which they appear, over how they move, right? Like you might want particles like flowing around, influenced by some, you know, vector field or something. And then you want to be able to edit frickin' vector fields. Like, there's things. Oh, we already sort of can edit vector fields, actually. A little bit. What is the next big thing to do for Sokoban? I don't know. The next big thing might be to go back to working on the compiler for a little bit. There's lots of small things to do on Sokoban in the near future. Like some of these changes, like the animation changes that we made today, there's going to be more to do associated with those to add more things that help make it better, but I don't exactly know what those are right this second until the animator tells me. Oh, we want to hook up animations to stones, and we want to send messages when they're pushed and stuff, so that we can like animate them with wobbles and whatever. And when charmed guys move, we need to get them moving. We need to send messages for that. Those, I don't think either of those is that hard. They're on my bug list, and so we'll probably do them this weekend or something. All right, thank you everybody for coming by. Let's see who we could raid. Tokyo Game Show. Dude, I had to rage quit the programming channel almost this morning. We'll see. See if there's anything here. Learning Java, that's a no. We could do Memories of a Broken Dimension. I'm seeing very little programming here. What is that font? Okay, well we could do that. There's really not a lot of programming happening. Okay, CSS, that's a big no. It's a big no. Big nope. SitRep wants me to play Black Ops soon again. I can't play it till October 12th when it comes out. Otherwise, I would be playing it right now, man. Oh, did I check in? Did I check in? Many good features. Okay. Can't forget to check in. All right. I don't see anything here. This looks too early. I think we're doing Memories of a Broken Dimension in Lurk Zone. Thanks everyone for stopping by, and I'll see you all sometime later.